Of course, in a real application, you need to be able to pass data along to your templates. Now, you can do that easily with express routes. You can use the render method of the response to pass along a variable or an object from your routes to your views. It will become a local variable that you can use inside your templates. Now, you also have the option of setting a variable from within your application. It's sort of a global version of a variable that will become a local variable inside your views. It's the same as if you've passed it from your route, but it will apply to all the routes in your application. Now, within the templates, you can use this special notation to access the variables that you've created. So let's take a look at how that works. So here I have the render method of the response. And what I want to do is just pass along some additional information right here. So I can just pass along as either an individual variable or an object so that I'll have access to variables here. So I'm going to pass a variable I'll call page title. And this will be the title of the page. And I'll set that to home. Then I'm going to pass another variable called page ID. And I will set this also to sort of a lowercase version of home. So I'm going to use this as an ID so that I can target things with classes within my pages. And I'm also going to use it in different pieces of scripts to identify the current page that I'm on. And then this is just going to be a label that I'll use in my title. So like right here, and wherever I want to display the location of the page. So in order to get those variables, what we need to do is go into our templates. Let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to go into my views and index.ejs. And so right here, I can add the value for those variables. So the way that you do that is by using a less than sign, a percentage symbol, and an equal sign. And then in here, I can just use one of my variables. So page title, and then I will do the percentage sign and the greater than sign. So this is how you use a variable. Let's go ahead and save this. I've got my automation running, so you can see that over here in this tab, it shows the name. I'm not showing the terminal right now because I want to leave more room for this window, but my automation is running. So before this, I've already gone to my terminal and I have npm start running. So any changes that I make to my templates or any JavaScript is going to automatically process and then reload the page for me. So I'm also going to do this inside my body tags. I usually like to create an ID for each one of the pages and have a ID that I can use in CSS and, as I mentioned, in other places. So I'm just going to grab this notation from right here, and I'm going to call this page ID. Now, you're not going to really notice any change in the browser, but it means that now any of my CSS can target anything in my page a little bit better. And you'll see how I can use page ID in other places as well. All right, so what if I want to create a variable that is going to be available to any of my routes? So right now, I've only got one route that is being controlled by partials. So this is not going to be a big deal, but I'm going to create a variable that's going to be global and list the title of the page on that variable. So I can do this from app.js, and all I need to do is go ahead and use a special notation. So I'm going to say app.locals, and then just create a variable here. I'll call it site title, and then I'll set this equal to Rue Meetups. And so now this site title variable is going to be available inside any of my views, and it's going to look to any of my views as just any other regular variable. So if I come over here and I replace this with site title, it's going to do the same thing because it was already called Rue Meetups, but it's going to be available in any one of my views. So sometimes it's more convenient to create a sort of a global variable with this app locals. And sometimes it's the right thing to just create some local variables by passing this object to the response through this render method.